Happy Halloween, everyone, once again. This is our second video of the day, and happy anniversary to my wife, since we're still going.
Yay! Happy Halloween.
Yes.
And happy anniversary.
So, I don't know if this was just an AMC thing. I think it might have been, but AMC was putting on a double feature of Vincent Must Die alongside of Hallow Road. So we booked tickets for this and we went to it, and we had already seen Hallow Road and we had already reviewed it on the channel. So I'm going to add the Hallow Road review at the end of this for you to click on if you want to know our thoughts on the double feature film that's accompanying this. But for right now, we're going to discuss Vincent Must Die. What was that other one movie? Like, John Tucker, something, John Tucker or something, Must Die.
Something Must Die, yeah.
What's that fucking movie called?
I don't know what that's called, but I know you're talking about.
I don't think I ever saw it, but it was the one in maybe the early 2000s or something.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so this is a French film, and right off the bat, I think this is an important note that people, I don't know, I would be curious for anyone who went and saw it. Let us know. If you didn't know, did you notice that they used AI mapping technology for the mouths in this, for the mouths to match up with the dubbing? This is something that studios are starting to adopt. Netflix is going to start doing this for a lot of their films. I'm pretty sure there was a movie called Watch the Skies that came out this year. I think it's the first film that ever did it. I think it's from Sweden. Please correct me if I'm wrong on any of that, but this one definitely does it. And knowing that going into it, it's fairly obvious, I guess, once you are looking at it. If I didn't know what I noticed, I would probably think it looks odd. Especially since, like, the acting in this is very obviously dubbed.
Yeah.
There's always that dubbed acting. It's super rare I ever hear acting in dubs that is, like, genuinely good, where I'm like, oh, this actually sounds really freaking, like,
natural and authentic.
Yeah, like a complimentary.
Oh, sure.
To the performances, right? And yeah, this one it's bad, and I do think that it hurts the film and it hurts the experience, because it is something you're kind of focusing on a little too much. And I almost thought about not mentioning it, just to not get that in your head when you go to watch it. But most people are probably going to be watching this at home.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many days this is going to be playing. I think it's a very, very limited window to be in theaters, and I'm sure it'll be on VOD here pretty quick. And you'll have the option to watch it in its original language, which should be French, since this is a French film. And I can only assume that would be the much, much more preferred way to watch it. Will they have an alternate version where they have the dub with the mouths not synced to it as well?
That would be really interesting.
That's an interesting option. Will they include that? Anyway, okay, the movie itself. So this is about a guy who just living a normal life, doing his normal things, and for some reason, people randomly start attacking him. And he starts to figure it out with the help of someone else, what's going on. And now he's trying to avoid people at all costs, because sometimes when he interacts with someone, they just start violently attacking him and trying to kill him. So the premise is great. I think that this is a film that conceptually you have a very, very strong idea. The execution of it leaves something to be desired. That said, I still think it's a good movie. I think that had its original language track, it would have been a better movie and a better experience, but I still would have some issues with it that prevented me from really enjoying it.
Yeah, I agree. I like the concept, but the dubbing, I think, is a big issue. I for sure would have much preferred to see it just in the original language.
What if the dubbing acting was great?
The thing is like, I don't think the dubbing acting is necessarily horrible.
It's not horrible.
But it just doesn't match the faces and the body language, like, as well as the actual actors, own voices would. Yeah. If it was great, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that would change things. But I also still have some issues with kind of how the movie plays out in terms of, like, how that concept is explored.
Yeah.
That everybody is attacking him all of a sudden, and why that might be, and what he can do as a result of that.
Yeah.
I do think that there's a lot of, some missed opportunities there that I think would have been interesting to explore, and also mostly just kind of made sense to explore. And I think by omitting them, it does weaken the film a little bit. Because, it's a fairly practical-ish film. Like, it's not so... not out there, but like it's somewhat down to earth, grounded kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, where the situation, like, he is handling the situation in a down to earth kind of way. It's not as surreal or weird. Where, I mean, there's definitely some maybe metaphor and symbolism here, of course, but there's also a very level story that's happening. I hope that makes sense, where, like, it makes sense for him to explore certain things that he doesn't explore, because he is, approaching this in a realistic way, not in such a weird, surreal way. I don't know if that's coming across what I'm trying to say, but
it's not fantastical.
No, I mean, it's not.
It is presented in a way that makes it feel more natural and grounded, as you said. But I'm with you. I think that there's so many things in this that feel like missed opportunities, and very obvious ones. So minor spoilers for the film. So there is some addressing of, like, what is happening here, whether it's like a virus or whether it's this or that, and they're trying to figure out what's happening to him. And then we start to see, of course, throughout the film that it might be bigger than he thought originally. But there's stuff there's stuff that's going on in here that deals with, like, eye contact. He talks about, like, making eye contact with people, and, like, not doing that can prevent this from happening. And at no point does anybody ever suggest or think of wearing sunglasses or, like, something to cover your face from being seen.
Yeah.
That was fucking super bizarre to me. It was, like, so obvious. Like, I was telling Kaylee, and she was like, yeah, of course. Like, of course, it's the first thing on my mind. It's the first thing you think of. And it's like, it's the first fucking thing anybody would think of. If they knew eye contact was the issue, or maybe part of the issue, mm-hmm. you would immediately put on something to cover your eyes if you had to go out in public. So that was really stupid, and this is one of those movies where you kind of just gotta roll with things. I don't think, in order for you to enjoy this, you're just gonna have to accept these are the choices that are made, right? And I think that's probably true of a lot of films, but some films don't ask as much from you.
Yeah.
And I think that this one asks a decent amount from you in that regard. That there is some suspension of disbelief, especially with this, like, love interest that he comes across in the movie. There's a lot of, like, conveniences that I'm like, there's no way, dude. There's no way, dude. So those moments are a bit eye-rolly to me. Mm-hmm. And then just kind of, like, the way that this disease or virus or whatever the hell we don't even know. I mean, but whatever it might be, the way that it's handled, sometimes I really like it. There's a fight that takes place in mud. I'll just say that. I thought that was one of the best scenes of the film, and something that I would have liked more of. This would have been much more of a knockdown, drag out movie for me if I had made it. I hate to be that guy that's like, if I would have made it. But I couldn't help myself because this concept is so ripe for exploration, and it just has so much potential to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would love to see a sequel in universe or something. Doesn't even have to deal with these characters, but somebody else handling this material and this concept. Because, for all intents and purposes, it's kind of like a more... It kind of feels like a zombie film at times. Like, that's kind of the closest thing it plays out to, because the style of the film also has that naturalist look to it.
Yeah.
Almost like there's it's washed of color.
Yeah.
And anything has that real drab look to it, almost like Where Evil Lurks or 28 Days Later or something. And I like that style choice. I don't know. I just feel like there's so many questions that are raised and not answered in a satisfying way where you're like,
yeah,
why wouldn't you do this?
Yeah.
Right? And I hate to be that guy. I don't want to be the backseat driver for characters and I'm like, in the moment. But this guy has a lot of time to think about things. This isn't... See, I think the way that this movie would have worked better is if you put this guy in a scenario where this started happening to him in an event in somewhere he can't get out of, a train, right? Something like where the person is trapped and they're trying to not be seen because every time somebody looks at them, they start fucking attacking them. And he's trying everything he can to disguise his image, and then cops are boarding and they're like trying to look at everybody,
right.
And they're like, show me your face,
yeah.
and he's like, I can't, and they're like, show me your face or I'm gonna arrest you right now.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. Like, you gotta really ratchet up the tension.
I agree. Yeah.
Here, and for some reason this movie just kind of plods along.
Yes.
It's way too long and slow for what it should be.
Yeah.
This should be a chaotic movie. This movie should be balls to the wall, fucking Crank, Jason Statham shit, where it's like he cannot get away from people, and he's in an area where he can't, and he keeps trying to hide, and once people see him, they won't stop. It's like relentless, and it's like everybody needs to get this guy.
Yeah, I think that the paranoia didn't really...
Like the ending of After Hours, Martin Scorsese's After Hours, when everyone's chasing after him. Anyway, sorry.
Well, the scene that I was thinking of course, I think, if you have seen Beau is Afraid, it's a fairly early scene, but there's a scene in that where a bunch of people, run out of a convenience store and, start running into his house. And it's a really scary, freaky, weird scene. Anyway, but yeah, I think that I didn't feel the paranoia building as much as I think it could have with this type of film, because not everybody initially, attacks him. So it is kind of a, who am I gonna trigger? How does this work? That's kind of the whole film, is trying to put the pieces together of, what is exactly happening. And I don't know, I did not feel the tension, as you said, and also I agree that I think the film is too long in terms of story, and that the pacing is really bad as a, and so it's too long as a result of that. Yeah.
The exploration of it as well is really, really, poor in my opinion. Just him trying to figure it. If this shit was happening to me, there would be such an investigation and trials and errors of okay, I need to figure out how much distance, what it is that I'm doing, how it's affecting people, who it's affecting, why is it affecting them, talking with more people, getting more people around me so that I can be like, you need to see this, right? Whatever, calling people, trying to figure this out. It's just, it kind of accepts it and goes into exile.
Yeah. And
it's like, no fucking way, dude. How are you getting money? How are you, I don't know. There's so many things. It's you, as I said, it's a convenience film. It's just you have to accept everything that's happening, and it's really hard to do it.
Yeah.
And it's so slow for what it is. This should be chaos. This should be a movie that really genuinely feels like fucking thrill after thrill, because it's just this guy can't get away from the onslaught of people who are chasing after him. It should have been like an adrenaline film.
Yeah.
Right? Something like, you know, like we've watched like Mads, right? Where it's just like fucking one take, right? And it's like he can't get away, and the infection is spreading.
Yeah.
Right? And explore that more. Like, have him try to, like, figure out why this is happening more. Like, he does to an extent. I'm not saying he doesn't try at all.
He does make
He does,
an
but
attempt.
it's very, very limited.
Yeah.
And it's like, if this was happening to you, this is an extremely fantastical thing. You would be so much more, like, you know, you'd be exploring this so much more. You'd be investigating this so much more. So it's a great concept that I hope is done by someone else who really wants to flesh it out and think about things, you know, in a much more interesting and satisfying way.
Yeah.
This is a concept that I would have a ton of fun playing around with and writing.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? He never even really finds himself in all that many situations that are all that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every time he gets attacked, it's kind of the same thing. And the beginning is almost like a comedy because of, like, I thought it was going to be a comedy, honestly, because of how he was reacting to people attacking him at work and, like, the HR people and stuff. I was like,
that stuff,
that was more humorous, but then the rest of the movie's not humorous at all.
Not at all.
So I was like, this is a fucking weird thing to do.
Yeah.
Why does this feel almost like a Shaun of the Dead or something at times in the opening, where it's like almost that British humor of, like, someone attacks you at work and it's like, oh, well, you know, they're just stressed, and like it's like playing it off like it's no big deal, and it's like
very weird
the way he's
reactions.
attacked, police would be called, right? Like, that's a serious underreaction that is not believable, and so their film has to then follow suit by being unrealistic. But it's not it's unrealistic, but just not in an interesting or funny or thought-provoking or any kind of way.
Yeah.
I'm actually disliking it more and more the more I talk about it.
Yeah, I definitely am not a fan of it. Much prefer Hallow Road. That is...
Hallow Road was great.
Very, very cool film. And yeah, it would have been interesting to see it, like, back-to-back, like, for the first time with this movie. I think it would have definitely made us even higher on it, probably, like, to have the...
And Hallow Road's like 30
comparison.
minutes shorter than this.
It's a great film. Yeah, I definitely wasn't a huge fan of this. I am very curious about, like, how much would change if, you know, we had seen it in its original language.
Not a lot.
I do wonder, but I think the acting and stuff would have came through a bit more. So,
sure.
Because, yeah.
I'd be 0.1% higher on it.
I think part of the issue is that, well, I don't know. Anyway, that's that.
That's that, guys. So there's a double feature for you. As I said, if you want to check out our thoughts on Hallow Road, which is excellent, the review should be up on the screen now.
Yeah.
So click that, and it'll take you over there. All right, guys. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And we'll see you in the comments.
Bye.
Bye.